Now, simultaneously, two things have happened. I don't know if you are aware of it or not. First thing that has happened is that now we have a new science of microbiology, in which we have discovered that every cell has got a DNA tape. Every cell has got a program in it. As we have in a computer a chip, every cell has got a tape in it, in a way that it is programmed. And according to that program, the development takes place. Now imagine the intricacy of the whole thing. So many computers are already programmed, and all these cells have these in them. So a very mysterious sort of thing has come up before the scientist, and they cannot explain it. They cannot explain many things. But one of them is this. Now, what Sahaja Yoga has done, that it has proved that it is the will of God, it is the desire of God, the will of God, which is doing all the work. And it has been proved. All this Chaitanya, Adi Shakti is nothing but the will of God. And will of God is the one is working out everything very harmoniously. I don't know if some of you must have read my book, first book, where I have described how this earth was created. There was a bang, but it was very harmonious, and how it developed is through the will of God. So everything was done in a way that God's will was working. Now the will of God you are feeling on your fingertips. After realization now, you have discovered the absolute science, which is the will of God, which is an absolute science. You people know that we have cured people through Sahaja Yoga. We also know giving bandhan and all that things work out. So many things work out automatically after realization that people don't want to believe. In the beginning, people would not believe when the scientists told them something. But now it is, you can see the science is always in the flux, all the time changing. One theory is again challenged, another theory is again challenged. But Sahaja Yoga has exposed you to that great truth of science which cannot be challenged, which is all there. So anybody who comes out with a new proposal about defaming God or saying that there is no God, we can prove. Not that there is God, but everything, the creation of this earth, the creation of human beings, and everything was done harmoniously by the will of God. If will of God has done everything, the human beings should not take any credit for discovering some things which are created by God. Supposing this carpet is made by somebody and we start discovering all the colors, what is so great? It is all there. You cannot create. So it is not the creation part of it so much important, but the fashioning of this world, whole thing, was done by the will of God. Now, if the will of God is so important, it has to be proved. And now through Sahaja Yoga, after the breaking of the Sahasrara, you have now for the first time felt the will of God, which is such an important thing. But for us, it is come to us so sahaj that we don't understand. We just give the bandhan and the things work out. And we feel that the things have worked out. So it is bandhan which has worked out, and we have managed everything. It's not so. It's much more than that. we have now become part and parcel of that big computer, of that will of God. We have become the medium, or we can say the channels of that will of God. We are connected with that will of God which created all this universe. So everything we can manage because we have got the absolute science in our hand. The absolute science which will work out the betterment of the whole world. We can prove it to the scientist that there is a will of God which has done all this creation. Even evolutionary process is the will of God. Without His will, nothing could have happened. So many people used to say that not even a blade of grass moves without the will of God, which is a very true thing. And you have seen now that the will of God we have got as our own power. We can use it. So how important it is to be a Sahaja Yogi. Perhaps we don't realize how important it is to be a Sahaja Yogi. Sahaja Yoga is not only for saying, Mother, I am full of joy, I am enjoying myself, I got purified, everything is fine. But for what? Why did you get all these blessings? Why you have been cleansed? So that this knowledge of will of God should be apparent in you. Not only that, should be a part and parcel of you. So we have to raise our level. We have to come up. For mediocre and ordinary people, it is really useless to give them Sahaja Yoga because they are good for nothing. They are not going to help us in any way because what is needed is now today that we should have people who can really manifest and reflect the will of God. And for that you can understand we have to have very strong people because this will has created this whole universe, the cosmos, this Mother Earth. Everything is created by this will of God. So now we are exposed to a new dimension, and that dimension is that we are ones who are channels of that will of God. So then, what is our duty? And what should we do about it? As a result of Sahasrara being opened out, one thing, the illusions have vanished. What you call Sanskrit is Bhranti. Illusions have vanished. You should have no illusion as to the existence of God Almighty, the power of His will, and the truth about such. You should have no doubts at all. Minimum of minimum should be like that. But while using this power, you should be aware that this power is given to you because you are capable of handling it. Is it the highest power that you could think of? Take any governor, take any minister, anyone, they can be removed tomorrow. They can become corrupt. They can become absolutely devoid of any knowledge of their own powers. There are many people who just get elected without knowing what they have to do. So this is not just a conversion of people. It's not only even transformation, but it is a new fashioning of a new human being which has come forward and which is capable of carrying the will of God further. So, as a result of your realization, what you have got? The first thing that has happened is that your illusions have gone. You should have no illusions about God Almighty, His will, and that He is omnipotent, omnipresent, and omniscient. All His omnipotence has done this work. And as collective consciousness, you should also know that you are also omnipotent, omnipresent, and omniscient. Omniscient is the thing that He sees everything, knows everything. Part of it, that power, is also within you. So, to prove His omnipresence, you have to be all the time aware that you are Sahajogis. When I find even now Sahajogis struggling about their wives, their children, their house, their jobs, I start wondering, what is their level now? Where are they? When are they going to take up the role of what they have got? So the omnipotent God who is everywhere, who has done all this, the will of God that has worked it out, has to work through you people. And you have to be very strong, very sensible, very wise, also very effective people. The more effective you become, the more energy you will get. But still I feel that the Sahajogis are more not taking the responsibility of understanding that they have to represent this God Almighty who is omnipresent, omniscient, who knows everything, who sees everything, and who is potent, means almighty. If you understand that this is what has happened after opening the Sahasrara, that you have now got the power which has these three qualities in it. Say now this big thing has to be supported by a strong pillars. But supposing if they are not strong, it will fall down. In the same way, such a great power which has come to you. For that we don't need very successful people. We don't need people who have a big name or those who have lots of money. What we need, people of character, people of understanding, of wisdom, and of strength, that whatever may come, I will stand by it. I will take to it. I'll cope with it. I'll change myself and improve myself.